great. Yeah, and that seems odd to me. I feel like you'd be really comfortable. Okay, so today, fruits and veggies. Here's our handout. All right, so this is a nice, light, easygoing topic. Nothing that is, you don't have to try to learn anything and figure anything out. We're just going to talk about produce, okay? Super lighthearted. I'm not counting these. That should be over. Okay, so at the top, we have our serving size. So how many servings of fruits and vegetables are we supposed to get a day?
5.
5. All right, so at the top, we have fruits and veggies. When you Google image like serving size for fruits and veggies, there are so many. I could have chosen so many. And actually one I really liked, it turned out it was from Australia, and when I looked at it, there was so many things, and like, we don't have that here. I think on here, the only thing I don't know what it is the light shade at the bottom of the fruits. I think that's the only one. I think the rest of them I know. Do you? I'm going to show the store. That's where it's going. So anyway, but these are all what a cup is, all right? So a lot of times a half a cup is a serving of fruit or a vegetable. So like even if you look at the dried fruit, that is a cup of dried fruit is just a cup of those pieces. That's not a great representation, but that would be 4 servings of dried fruit. So this is to say, like, when you're looking at fruits and veggies, you can really get a lot in easily. Like when you look at a Honeycrisp apple, some of those can be gigantic, right? You're like, what tree did this grow on? Okay? So if you eat a whole one of the really big ones, that could be 2, maybe even 3 servings that are fruit and veggie. If you have a really big salad, maybe you have 2 cups of greens, and then you throw in all those, right, yeah, like your salad fronts. Yeah, I know exactly why you told, yeah. Then you have all these veggies that go on top. That could be 3, maybe 4 servings, depending on how much veggie you have in there. So it's really easy to get your servings a day. This rule at the bottom of that, this is my rule. It's not a complete meal unless there's fruits or veggies. It's not complete. So if you look at your plate or wherever you're going to eat, and there's only some kind of carbohydrate and some kind of protein, it is not a complete meal. Okay? We've got to have fruits and veggies at every single meal. And I was trying to give examples of other things like that I would say probably doesn't count. And I would say, like, if you're at a bar, tavern, supper club, and you have the Friday night fish fry, I get it, it comes with potato and coleslaw, but I'm going to have to say that's not going to count, okay?
You got the lemon, too. But.
Oh, right, yeah, the lemon wedge, right. I know that cabbage is like extremely good for you, but when you have it in all that mayonnaise and stuff, it kind of doesn't work that way, all right? And then, of course, like last hour, people were like, well, we make our own coleslaw with Greek yogurt. And someone's like, well, I make it with a vinaigrette. And I get it, that's fine. I'm just talking about like when you go out to dinner and they're like, here's your weird cup. Like it's like a ramekin thing of coleslaw. Doesn't count. Okay, same with like fried potatoes. That's your starch. All right, I understand that technically they're vegetable, but think about your veggies. Like, I'm eating this, meal. Is there produce in it? Okay, so we're gonna go through how to get that. So the next thing we're gonna go through 12 tips. I am not gonna go through all of this. This is 4 pages of stuff, but I just want to point a couple things out. And then if you guys do stuff and have ideas that you want to share with the group, please go ahead, and I'll share with things that other groups have mentioned too. So boosting your breakfast, make sure you have a fruit or vegetable with your breakfast. I get it. Maybe it's like you're eating eggs and toast, okay? But can you add like a piece of fruit on the side? Or can you chop up some veggies and put it in your eggs? Yes. It was very good. It's very good to have some, maybe you've got, when you're making some meals and you're like, well, I'm already cutting up a pepper. You might as well just cut up a little bit more and have it in the container in the fridge. And then, when you're making your eggs or whatever, throw them in there. Or actually cook them all up, and then you can just really quickly whip up eggs on the weekend with already roasted or sauteed veggies. Putting berries into yogurt, putting them into oatmeal on top of cereal, things like that. Adding your fruit to those kind of meals is really, really good. Making a smoothie is always good. I make smoothies probably 2 times a week, maybe 3 times, depending on what I'm doing and if I worked out that morning. So that's something that I do when I put fruit and vegetables in my smoothies. right? Because there's a lot of veggies that you can put in smoothies that you can't taste, like spinach and broccoli and kale and what else can you put in there? You can't put cabbage in there. What else?
Do you eat sweet potatoes? I would
Yeah.
say that kind of.
Yeah, if they blend up okay. But yeah, or if they're already cooked, for sure. Yeah, so you can put greens in there, and if it's like about a cup, you really can't taste it. You really can't, especially spinach. I know a lot of people will see me eating or drinking my smoothie, and they're like, "What is in that?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, it doesn't taste like how it looks." Okay. Doubling your veggies. So when you're cooking, there's no reason why you can't double your veggies, right? So even when I eat processed foods, are you ready for this? When I occasionally do something like get a Papa Murphy's pizza, I'll order with a bunch of the veggies on it, but when it comes home, I still doctor it up even more. And I'm like, look in my fridge, do I have some more mushrooms, do I have some more peppers, onion, whatever you can throw on there, double it up. Same thing with soups and casseroles. You probably have some mixed frozen veggies or something you can throw in there. So if you're thinking about using up some veggies, or you have something that calls for X amount of whatever, just either double that veggie or add in another veggie that you think might taste good. Okay? So just try to make that rule for yourself. Well, might as well. I like to, they bring up how a sandwich is a blank canvas waiting to be stuffed with color. Think about it. If you go to like a sub shop, which I hope you don't, but if you did, which I'm sure a lot of you do, you know, and you look at that like splash guard, and then, or the snot guard, I should say, and they have all of those cut up veggies. It looks appealing, right? They're very colorful. They're in the buckets. Someone already cut them for you. And you're like, yeah, I'll take this out with the tomatoes and the onions and the lettuce and the spinach and the cucumbers. But when we're at home, we're like, yeah, meat and cheese, gone, I gotta go. You know, and we don't think about putting that in there. But if you had this stuff ready to go, like you had some romaine washed in a bag, you can put a little paper towel in there to soak up some of the water. You can throw that lettuce on there. You can have tomatoes sliced and diced and ready to go. You can have some cucumbers. So it's an opportunity. Don't miss an opportunity to put vegetables on something if you can. Apples go really good on sandwiches too. All right, being a sneaky chef. I've talked to you guys about this, about sneaking foods in. That's why I love my food processor so much. Okay? Food process whatever you can. If you have little ones, you can make secrets in the sauce. They say right here, putting stuff in marinara that they don't know is there is really helpful. So, like, get them used to it early on if you have little ones, because then that's just what they think spaghetti sauce is. Okay, from then it makes it much easier. Otherwise, and even if you want to fool yourself, like there's veggies I don't like to eat. So if I either shred them with my food processor or process them up and I can saute them in something and then add sauce to it, I'm like, whatever, it was never there. I just don't even need to think about it. That's why I food process of beans and mix it with my meat for meatloaf and meatballs and stuff like that. Or just browning up meat for tacos or spaghetti sauce. Grating your veggies is a really great way. Like I said, the food processor. What about meatless meals? Anyone do meatless meals in here? Not all at once. Okay. Sometimes it's pretty typical of our culture to have meat as the star of the show, right? So earlier today we had a volunteer say, "Well, what about Lent on Fridays?" And I'm like, "Okay." I'm assuming you're going out for fish fry, and they're like, right, no meat. And I'm like, fish are meat. And someone's like, fish aren't animals. I'm like, oh God. Well, they're not vegetables, so they have to be something. So, you know, animal-less meals. Okay, just kind of going with that animal-less. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, not. I get that they don't have legs. I get that, but thinking about other things that. You could eat that are just vegetable-based, plant-based, okay? I know maybe to some of you that sounds awful, like it's like when I'm saying it's not a meal unless there are veggies, and people are like, it's not a meal unless there's meat. Flip it on its side and try having a meatless meal and see how much you like it and get creative with it. There's so many really, really good vegetarian cookbooks out there. You don't have to be a vegetarian to try it once a week. And the less meat you eat, the better your cholesterol will be. I promise you that. All right, so try to do a main entree meatless. I do it a lot. We really try to eat more plant-based, and it works. Try a new vegetable each week. This is a fun thing to do this time of year when the farmers markets are coming out. When you go to the farmers market, instead of, that's the one time I want you to go food shopping and don't stick to your list. Try to pick something up that you're not familiar with, you either haven't had in a while, or maybe you had as a kid and didn't like. I eat a lot of food now that I would not eat as a child. I spent many a night sitting in a cold dining room with cold vegetables on my plate in the dark, okay, because they're like, you're not going to bed until you eat that. Okay, and now I love all this stuff and I eat all of it. So go back to something that maybe you didn't like. Like I love Brussels sprouts now, okay? Reinvent your eating habits, okay? Go back. A lot of times people will ask me, you know, like, well, how do you make this? Well, just Google it. I promise you, you just type in recipe for and insert the produce that you have and you will get some good recipes, right? You get some good ideas. Yeah. So it's all online. It's all available for a few. Tip number 6. Salute the snack. I think that snacks typically go carb, right? Something crunchy, some crackers, some chips, something salty, something crunchy, right? That's usually what we do, or something sweet and desserty and like cakey or something like that, right? Why is that? Remember when we were little and you had ants on a log, right? I'm not the only one who had ants on a log. That can't possibly be. Thank you. All right, maybe some apple slices. You know, no? What did you guys have as snacks when you were kids?
Grapes, cherries.
Oh, yeah, produce. Anyone else?
String cheese.
Okay, well, not a vegetable, but not directly an animal. Still an animal product. But I mean, it's not necessarily like eating just a handful of Ritz or something, right?
Well, it was better than the fruit roll-ups, which pretty much.
That is not for,
Sugar.
the not fruit roll-up, right? Okay, so trying to go back to that. I like to eat, and by the way, carrots, like those baby carrots, those are soaked in bleach, just so you know.
What?
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, they're soaked in bleach.
Soaked in bleach.
Yeah, so they don't go bad. Sorry, they're gross. What's that?
Even taste gross. I don't like the
The organic ones, I don't know. They may not be. I don't know.
have a long shelf life.
No. Then no. Yeah, they soak them in a solution. I know that. So I get organic carrots because carrots are one of the dirtier vegetables per like pesticides and stuff. Do you guys know that carrots aren't orange? Am I just blowing everyone's mind? Carrots?
I've seen yellow ones.
Yes, there's also purple ones.
Right.
Yeah, have you seen the purple ones? They're so pretty. And then they're white on the inside. Yeah, because you eat with your eyes first. So this is the thing, like I go to Trader Joe's and I get organic carrots and they're purple and white and yellow and orange. And then when I cut them into sticks and then I put them in baggies and for my snacks, I like look and I get excited. I'm like, oh, they're so pretty. And then I want to eat them because you eat with your eyes first. So if it's pretty, you're gonna want to eat it, right? You know, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so try to maybe go back to your snacks as fruits and veggies. Okay, you can. I know, just he's participating, so I don't even care if it's sarcastic or real. I'm just rolling with it.
So you're saying don't eat orange carrots anymore then?
No, you
Don't
can
eat
eat
the
orange
baby
carrots,
ones.
just
Don't
not
eat
the
the baby ones.
the baby ones are possibly in a solution that is not so good. I know the convenience is really nice and it's easy, but
So they went from soaked in bleach to possibly have been in a solution in
Yes.
like 2 minutes.
yes. Well, I don't know what the solution is. I was told bleach, or not told. That's what I read.
What's wrong with a little bleach?
Okay, if you have a problem with it, I'm fine with
Oh, no, I
it.
mean, but,
Yeah.
oh, that's nuts.
They're in a thing to make sure their shelf life lasts longer, and a lot of times it's like a bleachy type thing, so it cleans them and things don't
Maybe that's
grow.
good for your cleansing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, flushes everything out.
I don't. Do you drink bleach? Is that going to flush something out?
I don't know.
I have yet to have any medical professional say that that's the cure to something.
Is that tip number 13?
Yeah, tip number 13. The chapter you don't have. And drink bleach to, well, yeah, just to get rid of all those pesticides you're eating now. All right, don't skip dessert. I think we can all agree number 7 is good. Eating fruit for dessert is okay. You can bake apples with a little bit of cinnamon. I put my homemade granola on them and bake them. It's really good. You can grill. Actually, someone's talking about grilling pineapple, which I've heard about so many times. I've never done it, and they said it's awesome. Has anyone done that in here? Is it good? Okay. Yeah, it's just like it's like caramelized. Yeah, sounds awesome. I think you can do that with most stone fruits like peaches and things like that too.
Nectarines.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So give that a go. So it's not like you have to skip sweet something after dinner or lunch or something. Just go with fruit. Say yes to salads. We talked about salads a little bit. Also up here, I've got some handouts that it's up to you which ones you want to take. That's why they're up here. But I've got some dressing recipes. So if you guys want to make dressing, because dressing is usually the culprit for green salads that goes astray. Including that, I have a pasta salad, a potato salad recipe that is SJ approved, so you can try that. These are my Create a series. So the Create a series is kind of like a choose your own adventure recipe card. So instead of giving you just a bunch of recipes, it says, choose your base. And their options are like typical lettuce, salad, greens, romaine, spring mix, arugula. Or you could put like whole wheat pasta down. You could put brown rice, some whole grains like quinoa. Then you choose your proteins. Maybe you want some beans, or you want some ground beef, or some chicken, or a hard-boiled egg. Then you pick your other vegetables that you want to put on. Maybe a fruit is optional. And then it says like what flavors to add, how to add dressing and toppings. So it's kind of like, oh, I could choose that with that. Oh, I never thought about that. And you can kind of mix your own. So there's Create a salad, amazing veggies, smoothie, and stir fry. So all ways that you can choose to eat some produce. I also included, there's this roasted veggie pita pizzas that I make. I made them actually last night for dinner. I've been making these for years. They're one of my favorite things. And it's a way that we do vegetarian meals. So it's just roasting veggies like potatoes and a whole bunch of other veggies. And then you put them on pita pockets that you've toasted. It's so good. Yeah, so that's another option. And soups and stuff. So come on up and try those. But getting stretching your parameters a little bit with flavors and things like that. Number 9 is the smoothie. We talked about the smoothies. I usually make my smoothie with milk, yogurt, fruits, and veggies. Another thing I do too is I take an avocado and instead of the yogurt and do avocado because this is horrible, but I don't actually like avocados. I think it's like a health coach crime or something. It's probably like a citation I get for that. Being a health coach, I don't like avocados. But so I know I want to eat them though because they're so healthy for you. So I put them in my smoothie. And it adds that creaminess. They're also really good as like on a sandwich instead of mayonnaise to spread avocado out. It's a nice way if you like that kind of texture on a sandwich. Also, I think this means I'm old, but I'm not sure, so you guys can tell me. But I was listening to John Tesh Radio. Does that make me old? Yeah, don't nod. You nodded right away. Are you sure? Because I felt like you nodded. Okay, so I was listening to John Tesh Radio. Does anyone listen to John Tesh Radio? It's very informative. It's not annoying. It's super informative. I learned so much. He's kind of
What's the
dorky.
authority on it?
Everything?
Entertainment? Like,
No.
Beyonce's dating?
No, he doesn't do anything like that. It's all educational things and like studies. And anyway, what I learned the other day was that, and I had heard this before and I forgot, that seed in the avocado is actually where like most of the nutrients of the avocado is. So if you have like a killer ninja blender, you can chuck that bad boy in right away and it'll handle it. I wouldn't put it in your like Hamilton Beach blender, maybe. They said to chop it up. And last hour, Cindy Wiedemeyer said that she dries hers for like a couple days, and then that outer shell kind of cracks off. And then she can chop them up, and she puts them in. She chops them and freezes them, so she can put them in recipes, or she chops them and puts them in her smoothies, and that's how she gets all the nutrients from them. They have like a ton of antioxidants for cancer-fighting stuff, and also the really good healthy fats and stuff. So that's like where all the nutrients. I thought the flesh was the big deal.
The skin?
No, the big seed inside.
You're kidding.
Okay, I wish we all could have recorded your face because that was like
I didn't
mind
know the skin.
blow. No, that hard, crazy seed in the yeah.
I put it while it's trying to it.
No, I know, and everyone throws them out. She also planted one and is growing an avocado plant in her
That's
house.
what I did.
She said it took her like 3 months.
I
She's got a lot of Patience. Okay, so anyway, so that's a little tidbit for you guys to know. I know, I thought that was so interesting.
Okay, so how many years did you get an avocado off the avocado plant?
What?
Like she's growing an avocado plant, right?
It doesn't
Yeah.
take that long.
Really?
No.
It said it took her a couple months to have a sprout come up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
it takes, I mean, it takes.
To
a
grow
while.
an actual avocado?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this was some kind of like riddle. How long does it take an avocado tree to?
I don't know, we were just talking about this. It's like you plant an
I know.
apple tree, you want 10 years for your apple.
Well, I know that's what we were laughing at last hour. That we're like, well, then do you pick the one avocado and be like, oh, I used it. Like, I can see another one for how long? I don't know. I don't know the growing rate on them, but it could be cool. I don't know. At least you can say you got an avocado tree.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't. I was pretty impressed. All right, dig the dip. That's another thing. Making your guacamole and dipping veggies in there. Hummus is great. The one thing I do is I take yogurt and I mix my peanut butter in there. I actually use the powdered peanut butter stuff, but you can use natural peanut butter, a little bit of cinnamon, honey if you want, and you can dip apples in there or other fruit. That's really, really good. Another thing for breakfast, sometimes I just chop up an apple and chuck that in there, and it doesn't go brown. So you just have chopped up apples. I leave the skin on, and it's just in like a peanut butter yogurt thing. It's really yummy. It's like having dessert for breakfast. So go ahead and use dips, just not ranch for everything, or veggie dip. Get out of that bucket and try something new. Speaking of dips, recreate the chip. Doing potatoes or sweet potatoes as your own homemade chips are great. This is my Pampered Chef little mandolin thing that I use. Anyone have one of these at home?
Yeah.
They're super sweet. They're really sharp. You'll lose a digit on this bad boy, right? But yeah, so you put your veggie in here, and then you just mill it back and forth, and then you have uniform size cuts that makes it really nice for cooking, even cooking. So that's something to think about. And then tip number 12, bake the bread. I like that they say this here, that carbohydrates are an essential energy boosting part of a daily diet. So we're not saying that we're trying to avoid carbs. They're just saying, you know, you're going to get your carbs anyway, so why not try to use veggies as your holder of the thing, okay? So like lettuce wraps, or portobello, you know, buns, or stuffed peppers, okay? You look at my mom's, she has gluten-free bread that none of us like, and she made sloppy joes. And my brother's like, just put the sloppy joes in my hands, because I'm not eating that bread. And so we're like, we need to put it in pepper or something like that, okay? So think outside the box a little bit. All right, so that is the tip. So read through those and see which ones are new to you that you want to try. If you guys are interested, when you can come up, you can take any of the recipes that you want. And then if you want to, if you guys are not crazy about cutting up any of the things that you see here, raise your hand and I'll demo how to cut them up easier. Like if you hate the color of peppers because there's seeds everywhere, or you're not quite sure how to cut a tomato grate and get rid of the seeds, or cutting into a cauliflower and getting rid of that, or cutting up a pineapple. You know, I can cut some of these things up. I'm not going to do the avocado because it's not ripe, but I don't want to waste it. Also, real quick, things that you need to have in your house. This is my microplane. You do not need to have a microplane. I just like this. This is for zesting. Citrus for sure. You could do cheese on it too. It makes Parmesan into like fluff, so you can just do it just enough. But it's really great for lemons and limes and oranges to add all that flavor and those nutrients in. But at least it doesn't take that first layer of skin off your hand, like your box grater does. You know what I'm talking about? That I have zest and some knuckle in there. Okay? So this has a nice safety handle, and it's smooth, so you don't scrape the crap out of yourself. All right? So that's a nice little tool to have. Also, it's very important to have sharp knives. All right? You might have a knife that is the shape of this, but if it's not sharp, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to cook at someone's house and they give me it looks like a nice knife, and I try to use it and it just like smashes a tomato, and I just like, I can't work under these conditions.
You probably bring your own, don't you?
To the houses that I know don't have good knives, yes, I bring my own. Oh God, don't call me out on that stuff. But yeah, this is like my favorite do-it-all knife because you can mill with it. It's a good knife for milling. And then this one has a Japanese name for it, but I'm not going to say it because I don't know how to say it and I don't want to butcher it, no pun intended. But it has those nice indents so that it's really great for cutting onions and potatoes so they don't stick to the sides of the knife.
Oh, okay.
And then this is great paring knife. You need a nice paring knife, okay, for cutting and delicate cutting and specific cutting, okay? So know your knives. There's many other knives that you can have that are handy, like a serrated knife for breads and things like that. But, you know, don't use a steak knife for cutting everything. It's just not gonna work, okay? Get yourself some knives. Is there anything that you guys really want to see cut up, or you guys are pretty confident, or no? Any votes?
Well, I don't even see it, but just explain how you do a tomato without seeds.
Well, I can show you, because I already cut one up, and then I can just, yeah, what do you mean? You guys can come up here,
Why
and then
would
get
you
your,
want the seeds?
Yeah, why don't you want this?
Yeah.
because when I make sometimes when I make sauce where I don't want all the water, or when I make my salads ahead of time, I don't put the seeds in, because I don't want the lettuce to be wet. So then I get rid of the moisture. It's the same thing like a cucumber. I seed a cucumber with a spoon and chop it up for my salads if I'm not going to eat them that day. If I'm going to eat it that day, I keep the seeds. But if I'm not going to eat it that day, I don't want to. Why don't you guys get up here? Yeah, they can be. Hold on, let me move my pineapple. All right.
Spot for that.
Shut up, I'm not putting it on my head for the 10th time. God. Okay. So, tomato, and this is how to cut kind of anything that is a core. You put it on its side, cut through it, and then you cut on an angle. And then you get rid of the center, and then the seeds. Just go ahead. Yeah. That's it.
What was that?
Yeah. that's me.
So yeah, you just,
Oh, I got
anything you want the core out, you just cut on, so apples and like the pineapple, I would've done the same thing, and then you just,
And you threw the whole coral in too?
yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to.
I was just showing you
You
how
can
to
see
do
throw
it.
everything.
Yeah, a lot of times, and there was a mention last hour too to like hold on to that and use it in other things, like if I wanna make a sausage or something, yeah, you don't have to do it. Because I'm not gonna do anything with it right now, I'm not keeping it. So yeah, and then for my peppers, I cut my peppers like, well, I wouldn't use that knife, but I would cut them around, you do a lot of things around, and then you can pull the seed, and all the seeds in the knife. Or you can
Just go in.
cut like this in a circle
Yeah.
and then pull out. Yeah, either or. So yeah. And you guys know cauliflower in half and then cut that core out on an angle? No?
I don't do cauliflower.
No, I haven't done that.
How do you do it?
I just cut it.
Yeah.
Yes. It makes it.
Yeah.
Oh, and just cut it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that could work too. Same thing. You guys know what a cup of pineapple?
What a pineapple cover.
Yeah, I have one too. Pampered chef. I have a pampered chef one, just like an apple.
And so I do it.
That was great.
Yeah.
I had one too. That busted.
Cut the pineapple in half
I
and
know, what
stand
am I
on the
doing with
floor,
that?
that's what I do.
I guess I just think pineapple
No,
is
but
just
the
like
pineapple for me.
But cut the pineapple in
So
half.
do you cut that off and that off
Yeah,
and
and then I
then you just?
cut, and then I
Yeah.
cut it in half
And then
though.
you use the apple slicer core to get them in slices.
Oh, that would, okay.
First you core
See.
like the pineapple core, and then you use the apple slicer to cut it in slices.
Yeah, that's what we just said. They have right next to it. They have it all cut out. It's like I buy that one.
Same price.
Same
That's
price.
word?
Yeah.
Buy the same price.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Sometimes these are a little like $1.
I did, last weekend I did.
Yeah, and it might be that way, but it's not always that way.
Not always.
Yeah, not
If
always.
you buy it in a jar, it's more expensive.
Well, no, it wasn't a jar, it was.
Or a plastic container, right?
Plastic container
Yeah.
next to the ones that weren't.
Yeah, and you got lucky.
Once in a while.
They're always more expensive where I go, so I always just buy my pineapple.
Okay, well,
This is how my sister came to a family party once. She just handed me the pineapple. I'm like, well, what are you doing? She's like, well, I was in charge of fruit.
That's my sister.
I said, what? The one time we didn't ever bring like a paper product, and she's like, well, I don't have a knife to cut that. I don't even know how to do it. I'm like, then why did you pick like berries or something?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to make sure I brought a pineapple here, but apparently everyone's got their own way of doing it. So that's awesome. All right, well, good. And everybody get the handouts that you want for the recipes, and then we should be good to go. Any other questions or anything? And everybody signed in, and everybody has their Sari bucks. Is that affirmative?
Yes.
Okay, let me turn that after everything. Okay, let me, hold on, everyone. Yep.
Something around.
Let me, unless everybody wants to be on camera.